Let's see if I'm on because this is day 1933. And we're going to talk about the deep state. Okay, so we have 33 and we're going to talk about the deep state. That works out pretty good. Um, talk about symbolism, right? Let's see. Seems like I'm on. Sometimes it has a hard time. And I want to make sure that, oh, there you go, that I see everybody's comment. Thank you so much. Okay, so today is day 1933 days since Richard was forcibly removed from his barracks room there on Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas, on the borderland, the U.S. Mexican border. Right there, and really by landmass, Fort Bliss is the largest military installation, which includes White Sands, and White Sands border has a border with Zorro Ranch, or did have a border with Zorro Ranch. And that's really important when you're talking about that they had their own airstrip. And of course, that is protected airspace when you're flying over White Sands. Um, so, you could be trafficking a lot. Trafficking a lot. If you're dirty, you can traffic a lot. And if you have a lot of dirty infiltrators or traders um, eh, that allow the trafficking, yeah, you could traffic a whole lot um, eh, just by flying, just by airspace, right? And we know that Jeffrey Epstein was up to no good, and we know that a lot of individuals up to no good are trying to use that case, twist that case. We know that the way they have used all the cases, right? They twist it and turn it and manufacture evidence and try to control the narrative on every case, right? Because the deep state has just gotten that big. It has gotten that big that they have to do that all the time because their criminal trafficking is so huge. And we know that that criminal trafficking includes um, the funeral home business, uh, human remains. So people know that, especially with all the latest news out with Mario Ortiz Ceroldi, with the human um, trafficking that he was soliciting for favors, for a quid pro quo, or for money, or for debt, or whatever, and then participating, taking these victims, these trafficked victims, to a hotel room, having his way with them, and then taking them back to their captors, taking them back to their trafficker. And here he is, a lawyer. I mean, it's just it's so criminal. It's so criminal in so many ways. You can find like 10 felonies on what he did easy. So, and of course, you have the 34th Judicial District Attorney's Office, prosecutor's office, uh, you know, giving him a free pass with this solicitation misdemeanor. So, absolutely jaw dropping. And we'll keep you informed in what comes out of all of that, because we know that the judicial system uh, is definitely manipulated, and it's broken. It's absolutely broken because we don't even have a legitimate prosecutor in that office. We don't even have a legitimate prosecutor in that office. And of course, we have a dirty, well, um, I'm talking about Carlos Manuel Salas, the prosecutor there for the North Zone in Chihuahua. because he's too busy being in El Paso, right? He's too busy living in El Paso with his Texas driver's license and Texas car registration and his new house and all of that, to worry about Chihuahua. And so this is going to bring it all together with all the latest news because Richard was forcibly removed off of out of his barracks room, and his life was taken from him on Fort Bliss, and then his body stolen off of Fort Bliss. And we know that the director of emergency services that control all the cameras and all the gates and everything on Fort Bliss was complicit in this, right? And we have a letter from him. We have all this evidence. So, Richard, our son's body was stolen and taken off of Fort Bliss and trafficked to Juarez. And is caught up in that whole scandal with the Plenitude narco crematorium, rat infested 400 bodies that were decomposing over there, which the families thought, oh, uh, these were cremated because I have the ashes. No, you got animal ashes instead. You've got pulverized stone instead. No, and that means that there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, at least 400 tampered, fraudulent death certificates and doctored documents and all that. Why? Because they were cashing in for the humanitarian aid for undocumented migrants and for the COVID stuff and all of that. Um, it's really despicable. It really is. These people have no fear of God. That's the issue. They don't believe that they're going to have to answer to God, and that God is no buttercup, right? But God is no buttercup. He's not tolerant of this kind of criminal activity. He absolutely is not. And so it's just very cruel for us to be, not prosecuting this. And, it's hard to do it when you have a dirty prosecutor in the North Zone office in Chihuahua, and then you don't even have a legitimate prosecutor in the 34th Judicial District Attorney's Office over the borderland there, the El Paso office. And so, yeah, it's very frustrating. And now in Mexico City, they have become even more frustrated because they are having execution after execution after execution. And a couple weeks ago, I believe it's been a couple weeks, I'm doing this by memory. So, please feel free to correct me. But a mayor that is anti-cartel was shot dead, and so there is a big protest today, and they took charge of the palace there in Mexico City. And Mexico City, just has an amazing history. I think it used to be like a Venice, like a Venice that had all the waterways and be really beautiful. And yet here there is so much corruption and so much abuse. It's become a narco state. And well, we know Chihuahua is a narco state. Um, and the people are sick of it. The people are sick of their beautiful country being used and abused and exploited, absolutely exploited. And so they protested. The protest became a takeover, right? A takeover of the palace. We'll let you know. That's breaking news, and we'll let you know more tomorrow when all of this, because if it's all well, let's just wait to see what happens because A lot of loose things, when you have things shaking like this, a lot of loose things can fall out, a lot of um, uh, interesting information to help our case, because we know that Richard's case is absolutely a mission, a mission for the Trump administration. So, thank you, Laura, for coming on. And it's just been a very volatile day in Mexico. And of course, we have the release here in the United States through Tucker Carlson, the information, uh, the the YouTube messages from Thomas Matthew Crooks. Now, Thomas Matthew Crooks, and I'm doing all this by memory. So, Thomas Matthew Crooks killed a person and attempted to kill. Uh, Remember, he killed the man in the bleachers. He injured a couple more, and he tried to kill President Trump. Okay, and he failed, and it was the fight, fight, fight scene, the fight, fight, fight scene that you saw, and he lost his life. Thomas Matthew Crooks lost his life, and there's all this talk about him kind of going crazy, being radicalized, and all this stuff. But I'm very grateful for Tucker Carlson for getting us the um, all the messages, because then you can use tools right now and put the messages in chronological order, and you can do an analysis on that and see if the analysis needs to be checked and checked again. And please check the work that we did. But I thought it was very, very telling. We spent a lot of time on that to get that out to you. But the real personality of Thomas Matthew Crooks is like an asymmetric warfare officer. That's what kind of came out, that he was absolutely participating. Now, this is our opinion, but it looks like he was absolutely participating in asymmetric warfare tactics. And that's what those messages are for: to gaslight, to cause confusion, to cause division, or to cause major confusion, and to attack President Trump's character, to make him look very, very violent, to make him uh, you know, to put forth a false narrative out there that would harm President Trump's reelection campaign and his administration, and the policies, of course, the border policies, because Thomas Matthew Crooks focused a lot on the border. Um, so it's really about the border policies that are their focus. And like I said, they will do anything. They will do anything for these evil people, do anything to keep that border open, because, that is all their criminal trafficking. And of course, which includes the organ harvesting, and of course the infants, and of course 500,000 children. Those 500,000 children are 17 and younger. And um, that's why this whole Mario Ortiz Ceraldi needs to be really investigated, because if he is going to be a predator against these um, trafficked individuals, well, how old are they, right? How old are they? So that's a big question. Um, Thank you, Laura. You're very, very welcome. We've been put in this situation, um, and we had no clue that what was going to happen would be this big, and it is. It's so big. It's so big because the deep state, and that's what I really want to talk to you about today. And I think that with Thomas Matthew Crooks, it's a really good opportunity because I believe that he was part of the deep state. I believe that the analysis is spot on. And why do I believe that? Because since our son, his life was taken, and there was a big cover up. Even our first casualty affairs officer was an asymmetric warfare officer, and we caught him. We caught him participating, engaging in asymmetric warfare tactics against us. We caught him, and his name is Joshua Lyons. Joshua Lyons, and so many other people that now we have evidence, and we know that they were participating in asymmetric warfare tactics against us to mislead us, to misdirect us, to intimidate us, to threaten us, to you name it. Um, this is what they've been doing, and these are the deep state, and we believe that Thomas Matthew Crooks is part of the deep state, and he was participating on online comments in order to form narratives, in order to sway public opinion, and also frame President Trump's character to make him look very, very violent, um, and then it developed over the 2 years. So you can see the 2019, 2020 um, messages, and I think that they're really display how the deep state operates. That they are in uh, psychology mode, right? They want to control your mind. They want to control what you think, and they do that through the media. They own the media. I mean, Woody Hunt owns so much media. Um, and he's trying to, like in Sarasota, the Tribune, I think it was a Tribune, or was it the Herald, right? But the Tribune and the Herald, I mean, they go together. Um, came out about the Mormon faction, and I'm like, okay, he's listening. He's listening. This billionaire is listening to us. He knows that we have made him out, right? That we have made him out, that this is a Mormon faction tied to cartel, tied to foreign and domestic enemies of the United States that have been absolutely up to no good. And a lot of criminal activity, which includes the criminal trafficking. And so this is very, very evident. And just like the new videos coming out about J6, about you've got the police that are um, asking, uh, or directing the people to come into the Capitol. Then you have the police that are laughing. They're so happy, or the FBI, they're so happy that these people are going into the Capitol because they know it's a setup. And then, of course, you have the pipe bomb by LGBTQ police force individual, and she absolutely is up to no good. And um, with these pipe bombs, right? With these pipe bombs the night before and the day of January 6th, that really also corroborates all of the deep state, right? All of the deep state. Here she is, part of a police force, and she's planting pipe bombs, and they got that through AI analysis of her walk, of her gait, GAIT. Just the way she walks, and she had a sports injury, and so they really that compared her walk to other films of walking. I think the AI did all of that comparing and discovered who she was. And, to me, that's a miracle. That's kind of like how this whole thing happened with Nadal Baim and so many other things in our son's case. Um, so information just comes out. It just comes out. There's no stopping it. And if you're faithful, right? If you're faithful, if you know that, and you can get through the hard times, and know that there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? That there is, you just have to have faith in doing the right thing. And maybe sometimes it doesn't work out, but it doesn't matter because God gives, God takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. You have to just be content, but you have to really fight, fight, fight. And I believe um, that there is absolutely a purpose for this. And Richard is an absolute hero. And so his legacy lives on, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to absolutely get to the bottom of it. So, um, so we know about the pipe bomb, we know about the G6, we know about Thomas Matthew Crooks. Um, and I think that that just shows you that there are a lot of infiltrators. We know about DPS in Texas. We know about Connell Winton and the FBI field office there. Absolutely up to no good. And so, just be aware that our institutions have been infiltrated by individuals that are up to no good. And what do I mean by up to no good? I mean really bad. I mean really bad. So it's any group that can allow this Plenitude Crematorium to operate is a pretty sick, pretty bad group. So that's really what I wanted to tell everybody. It's Saturday night. Laura's, thank you so much. El Paso and any border town is the headquarters to all the dirty politicians working with cartel. It is. You're absolutely right. All those red yarn strings, when you're doing an investigation, they lead to El Paso. And so, you have the likes of Candace Owens, you have the likes of Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson releasing this, and I thank him very much for that, um, about Thomas Matthew Crooks, is that he doesn't talk about the deep state, right? He doesn't talk about that. Uh, it all the evidence seems that Crooks was using that position um, to engage in asymmetric warfare tactics, right? So that is um, that means that he might have a connection with the FBI, right? He might have a connection with the CIA. This absolutely um, looks like that. Looks like that. But we'll see. We'll see. Amen. God, it's with us, and we are here to do His work. Yes, absolutely. And Richard is our national treasure. He's our national hero, our national treasure, and will never be forgotten. Yes, thank you so much. And I just really, the 23 July date is just blows me away. The chances of that happening are like 1 in 134,000, I mean, it's like near impossible. Uh, it's just near impossible. So I think that the cremation of Thomas Matthew Crooks being on the 23rd of July is definitely a signal. Is definitely a signal. So we're absolutely in communication with our whole team, which is huge, and um, we'll give you an update as soon as we hear more about that, because so much is being released right now, like with the Arctic frost, with crooks, and then of course all this emboldenedness in Mexico. You see, the people are sick and tired of it, and they feel like they have a voice now, right? That they have rights now, that they can demand something different. So it is amazing how things are developing. And then, of course, you still have those bad actors in the media that are trying to mislead constantly, constantly. And they're very good at it. They're very good at it. They want to sow a lot of doubt. So be very, very careful. So thank you so much. I will be back tomorrow, God willing. And we just love you. And we're just so happy that you share, and comment.